Hi everyone, it's Sue Jerome here. Welcome back to my podcast, Life with a Purpose, episode 6. Today I'm going to talk about how I met Wayne and how the Lord brought us together so that we could get married. So I'm going to start off with some very important people in the beginning of my walk with the Lord. As I've said, even though I've known the Lord for most of my life, when I met this couple, my life changed even more, and I wanted to serve the Lord so much more because they showed us how alive the Gospels and the Bible was for today. And the two people I'm talking about is my pastors, Ken and Robin Mackey, and I met them back in the 1980s. And what happened was I was looking more for the Lord because I'd been at this stage church hopping, and I was looking for the Lord and things that He wanted me to do. I didn't feel comfortable in some of the churches that I was going to, but I ended up going to a church where Wayne used to go to church as well, and his older sister and boyfriend Andrew were running a youth group there, but I didn't quite feel welcome there, and I kept looking around, and then Wayne met up with someone, and he introduced him to their fellowship. So Wayne had gone to their fellowship probably 6 months to a year before I got there, and I was hanging around with his sisters, younger sisters, and we were looking around for churches, and he told the sisters about a church he met and went to, and we ended up there one Friday night, and we met Ken and Robin Mackey, and they were introducing the Lord to us in such a different way, and it was just amazing. And Pastor Robin, as I said before, told me of my life and only things I knew that I told the Lord about, and this lady told me everything that I told the Lord and what the Lord wanted me to do. So I stayed and I hung around, and Wayne did too, and we started to grow and grow and grow and get very big in size. So we started looking for a bigger place to have church, and then eventually we moved into a unit over in Palmer Street, Parramatta, and that became our church. So we, as all young people, were over there willing and wanting to serve the Lord, whether it's cleaning toilets or vacuuming or looking out for people or doing work for the kingdom. And we sort of started having church there, and then the Lord told our pastors that some of the young people wanted to get married and get together. So there was a time there where we would all go to our pastors, and we, after praying about who he wanted us to get married to. And by the way, this is all according to what I remember. My husband and a few others might have different ideas, but according to me, this is what happened. So we would approach our pastors and say, look, I believe the Lord wants me to marry so and so and so and so, and of course, for me, Wayne was too quiet for me. I didn't think he was the right one, and in some ways I didn't always like him, but that was because I didn't understand him. But anyway, eventually I went to the pastors probably 2 or 3 times, and the first 2 times of the ones I said, they said no, maybe pray about it a bit more. So I did, and then finally I thought of Wayne, and I went to the pastors and I spoke to them about it, and Wayne was doing the same thing. He was praying about it as well, and he was getting, he wanted to get married, but he wasn't really saying, he was sort of seeing who it was. And anyway, long story short, we ended up realizing that the Lord wanted Wayne and I to get together and become a married couple. But we had a few hiccups, but we both went to our pastors separately, and they said yes, all right. So then I remember after that we decided to go out to the city to the movies. We were supposed to go to the movies as a whole group, and by this time some of them had got together and they were boyfriend, girlfriend to be engaged. And then it came to be my turn. So I had bought a new car, a Mazda, and we were going in the car together, and Mac and Robin said it'd be best for us to go together in the car. So Wayne drove the car and I was in the front, and I think I had 3 others in the back. We were all travelling to the supposedly into the city to the movies, but somehow we ended up in Manly. I don't know what happened, but anyway, we got out in Manly, Wayne and I, and we just took a walk down the promenade, and we we got to know each other, and I think we were talking about, what do you want to do? You want to get together or something like that? Because really it was sort of new to both Wayne and I how to do this, because I'd never had a boyfriend in my life, and I don't think he had a girlfriend that I knew of over the years. But anyway, so we got together and we said okay, and then we got back in the car, and then we all went back to the church, and things were happening, and my pastor Robin, she looked at me, and I gave her the nod and I said yes, we agreed. And then so it was that Wayne and I were to get together and to get engaged. And I found out later, after we were married, that Pastor Ken Mackey had been praying for Wayne and I to get together for 3 years. He really had the burden for Wayne and I to get together, and I just thank Pastor Ken Mackey for that, and for his wife Robin for what they did for us in bringing us together. Because growing up I thought, how am I going to find out the right husband for me? Because at the time I was hearing a lot about the domestic violence, and I was really worried I was going to get an abusive man. But the Lord knew that, and he knew that I would have the best man possible. And the Lord always blesses those who bless him. So I just want to give honour and thanks to the Lord for my husband Wayne. So this is how we got together. So the next photos I believe are of us just after we got engaged. And again, we were out on another group outing with the fellowship. We'd go out and have fun together and just get together, have picnics and stuff like that. And this is Wayne and I after we got engaged. And yeah, I was just so over the moon, so happy that I finally found this man who wanted to marry me. He was a very gentle man and a very kind man. I actually gave him a few tests to see how strong he was, and to my amazement, he was very, very strong. And because I had a lot of baggage in my life, a lot of hurts and disappointments and resentments and things. But God knew what he was doing, and he put me with the best man, and his name was Wayne. And I love him very much, and I loved him. I was just so excited. And I think we got engaged in about October. No, yes, in October we got engaged, and then I think then the rush was on to be able to get married in about March. So we had to then look around for venues and look around for places we could get married and things like that. So that was on, and Mum, and of course me being not wanting anyone to miss out, I invited all my family, which was quite a big family, and all Wayne's family, which was quite a big family as well. And then of course all the church had to come. So it was quite a big wedding that was going to happen. And yeah, my poor dad, he had a lot to pay for, but Mum was very good. She organised a lot of it, and and she also helped Wayne organise my engagement ring. So I just wanted to have an engagement ring, and the picture I have here is actually my engagement wedding ring. And sadly, it's the only pictures I have of it. But the inner circle was the first one I got. I got the engagement ring, which was, there was the diamond there and the 3 rays of gold, which represented the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And that's how I saw it. And the diamond was all 3 in one. And then, of course, when we were coming up to the wedding, I had another ring put around that, and that was going to be my wedding ring on the chain. And Mum thought it'd be a good idea to have it in a very long chain so that I could put it on and off myself. But sadly, as you see, what I'm wearing today is not the same as that, because I didn't wear my wedding ring very often during the day, like ladies can with their fingers, because when I did wear it, I would get it caught and often pull the chain and break it. So therefore I couldn't wear it at all. But so I left it at home in my jewellery box, and I was out one afternoon for a few hours, and I think my husband Wayne got home before I did, and he said, "Did you leave the door open when you went out?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, somebody's broken in, and they've gone through our stuff, and unfortunately they took my whole jewellery box, and my wedding ring had gone." So that's the only picture of it I have, but thankfully I have another wedding rings on this chain now, which is much stronger. So so anyway, that's the ring. I know I've gone a bit further before than where I was supposed to, but we got engaged and I had this ring on, and then we were organising the wedding and having to organise a whole lot of things. And of course, in 6 months, because 6 months it's quite quick, and it's very hard to organise a lot of things. So I ended up having a morning wedding planned, but because of the wedding venue and because I had a big bridal party, my mum and a few other people were up very late doing the church warehouse where we had our church. They were decorating it and all that, and they decorated it till about 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was so beautiful. And anyway, so then Mum went home and she went to iron every one of the dresses, including mine, and she was supposed to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning because I was so excited to get married. And I actually got from the Lord to ring Mum. I should ring Mum, ring Mum at 7 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, I said, "Oh no, Mum will be right. She'll get up." Anyway, I found out off Wayne that he had to ring Mum up because Mum was taking Wayne to the hairdresser. And at 8 o'clock, he rings me and he said, do you know where your mum is? And I said, no. And he said, well, she's supposed to be picking me up. Anyway, so I think I rang her at house, and I just woke her up at 8 o'clock. So she goes, oh, and so she jumped out of bed and got ready and quickly went to pick up Wayne and take him to the hairdresser. And the idea was Wayne was going to go to the hairdresser with all the guys and get their hair done, and they were going to leave before we got there. But that never happened. We ended up meeting up with them as well. And we went to the hairdressers, and then we went back to the girls' house in Northmead, and we all started putting our makeup on and getting ready and things like that. And as I said, because it was quite a big bridal party, we actually ran late, and we worked as quick as we could. But the wedding was supposed to start at 11 a.m. But I didn't realise till after I saw the wedding photos that I got there an hour and 10 minutes late. I didn't realise how late we were. I was just so excited. But we ended up finally ringing, say, yes, we're coming, we're on our way. So I think we got there about 11:45, but by the time I had all the party going through, because I wanted Ken and Matt Robbins' family part of it, because they were a big part of my life in the church at the time. Anyway, so, and a few others. So we had quite a big bridal party, and there was a lot of people at church and things like that. So anyway, we finally arrived, because Mum was finally pinning the bouquet on my dress, as you will see. And then we arrived at the church, and there, that's my dad and I at home at Northmead before we left. And as you can see, I've got the bouquet pinned down the side of my dress, because I couldn't hold Dad's arm and walk down the aisle with the bouquet in my hand, so because it'd be too heavy for my arm. So that was Dad and I as we were getting ready to go into the car, and the others were my bridesmaids and flower girls. So Auntie Di was there. She was my maid of honour. And then we had Dee and Sharon, Zintra and Christy. So that was my bridal party. And then we arrived. I think you'll see in the next photo my dad fixing up the veil. Well, I realised that I couldn't have a veil as per se, because it would be very annoying to me. So I ended up getting a hat with a veil that hung down at the back. And that's what Dad was fixing. And as we walked in, so in the church we had front stairs, so we could go up the front stairs and get all ready. So the bridal party went through the doors down the bottom, but my dad and I, we went upstairs, waited up there, and then, as you can see in the other picture, we walked down the stairs to go down the aisle. But also I chose this kind of wedding dress because I thought if the wedding dress was too long, it'd annoy me, and I didn't want to train because I didn't think I could handle that with all the things that they do at the wedding. So I chose that one, but I loved the lace that I had around the sleeves, and that was Dad taking me down the aisle, down the stairway. And then we'd get down to the aisle and walk halfway, and then Wayne would meet us halfway, and he would shake Dad's hand and thank him for giving me his daughter to him to get married. And then Dad would go and sit down, and Wayne and I walked the rest of the way down to the front. So I actually had a vision of my dad finally coming to the church, and I didn't realise it was going to be on the wedding day. But I just thank the Lord that he brought that vision of Dad coming to church, because my dad hadn't gone to church for a very long time. So anyway, we proceeded with the wedding and came down, and everybody was in, and they finally, I think there was finally a relief that I got there. So I thank the Lord. So the next photo, I think, is, that's the groomsmen. We had Will there and Terry. Will was the best man, and then Terry, then Adam and Jamie were the rest of the bridal groomsmen. So, and then I think the next picture I have of us doing, that's the one in the middle is Wayne. I'm laughing because Wayne had to put the ring on me, and he couldn't find the attachment, so we were having a bit of a laugh. But I was also so excited. We just said the vows and everything, and we had, so we were so excited. And the picture on your right is of after Wayne and I got married. We were ready to get into the car, but the one on the left is actually at the reception, but that was Pastor Robin talking over us and things like that. So I think there's another picture after this of the church. Oh yes, there's the on the left. I was kids club teacher at the time, and these were all the young kids singing a song, and we've got Matthew and Zintra and Jamie, Kelly, Stacy. I'm not sure who the little one and is. Could be Rebecca and Jamie or something like that, or Josie. Josie was there too. And then on the right-hand side, we just said our vows, and we were singing a song to the Lord, and that's Auntie Celeste and Auntie Michelle. They were singing there with Pastor Robin. And just down the bottom was some of the family, my family and Wayne's family. So as you can see, it was quite a big deal. And in the background, you could see the factory where we had our church. And it was so good to see our church so full of people. It was a good time. And I thank the Lord, even though I was an hour and 10 minutes late. But it was a bit of a rush, but we still did what we could. And then we had to race over to the reception. I actually didn't get photos till at the end. But I just thank the Lord that he did everything he wanted to do for our wedding. Anyway, the first picture on your left, that's Wayne and I dancing the wedding dance. And that was so beautiful. And of course at that time we would change. I danced with Dad, Wayne danced with Mum, and then I danced with Wayne's dad, Ted, and Wayne danced with his mum after that. So that was really beautiful. And then the next picture you see, that's my mum making a speech about our marriage and about how we're so right for each other, and the Lord was in that. She blessed that. And then, of course, Pastor Robin's down there as well. And then the next photo is Dad and I dancing. And I tell you what, after Dad, Wayne was the only other man that would hold my hand while I danced, because others usually just touch me around the waist. But my dad, it was just a blessing to dance the wedding dance with my dad. Sorry. And there's Pastor Rob just talking over Wayne too about him, how special a man he was. And I just thank the Lord for him. So anyway, just that was a beautiful day as well. And the next photos, please, Kaylem. This is our wedding cake. We didn't have the traditional tiered cake. Both of us agreed we'd like a dove-shaped cake. So we had a dove-shaped cake on the bottom and on the top, because the first tier always meant you're supposed to keep it to the your first wedding anniversary. But, of course, that didn't happen. But I just wanted to show you how Wayne worked it out. He did this. He had his arms around me, and he cut the cake, and that was me sort of holding his hand as well to cut the cake. So that was a real blessing because I had no idea what we were going to do, and because we were so late, we had to rush the meals, we had to rush all the ceremonies, we had to rush everything. But it was a good day, so I thank the Lord for that. But the dove was to specially represent the Lord in our marriage and in our wedding. So, yeah. And I don't know. Oh, yes, you can see in the picture there's the lace. That was beautiful French lace. I had it on another dress, but I asked my dressmaker, because I had my dress made, I had my dressmaker put the lace on, and I really loved that dress, and it was beautiful. So, and I wanted Wayne to get dressed into a different suit to what the groomsmen were having, because it was his special day as well. So he had a darker suit with a silver in it. It was lovely. So the next pictures were of us. Yeah, we had to go because I didn't have a place to go to get pictures. We had pictures afterwards, and this was Pastor Robin on both with Wayne and with myself, and we just wanted her to be a big part of this wedding because she and her husband Mac brought us together, and I just couldn't thank them and the Lord enough for what they did and how they helped us through and helped us get together, and that this lady was a very special lady. She helps us all the time, and I thank the Lord for her. So the next photos is some more photos, I think, of, yes, there's Mum and Dad and myself, and especially I wanted a picture with my mum because she was always my best friend, and and she had tears at the end because she knew when I moved out of home she was on her own with Dad. And with a lot of us, you know that when you have your kids around, it's good. You've got your whole family, but when they start to leave, it's sort of another story. So, and Mum looked beautiful in the blue as well. So, as I said, there's the blue with Pastor Robin and Mum, and then the bridesmaids had the yellow, so we had the Parramatta theme. I didn't realise till afterwards, but it was beautiful. So, so I just want to thank the Lord that he looked after me and on our wedding day and things like that. So I thank the Lord for that. And I think, yes, and one last photo, and that's Wayne's parents, Ted and Ann, and they were a big part, and that's Pastor Tony. He actually did this ceremony on behalf of Ken Mackey because he was unable to attend our wedding at the time. So that's the end part of the wedding. We mainly had pictures of the bridal party and ourselves because, as I said, it was such a rush situation, and unfortunately we had to be out by 6 because there was another wedding coming, so they needed to have it cleared up and everything like that. So I thank the reception place for taking it, being tolerant with us. Now this photo is of us at our honeymoon. We went to Vanuatu for 10 days, and it was such a blessing because we were going to go to Queensland or we were going to go somewhere else, but Queensland was too expensive at the time. So I said to Wayne, why don't we go to Vanuatu because you haven't been in a plane before? And he said, okay. So we flew to Vanuatu, and it was such a blessing watching my husband because he didn't, just for him to see the clouds out of the window of the plane was just amazing. Anyway, we were in Vanuatu, and that was our little cabin. We had a cabin on the water, so we were sitting on the balcony, and it looks like the tide was out, so we could put our feet down. But when it was high tide, the water was right up to the cabin and we could just jump in the water just there and then. It was really beautiful in Vanuatu and it was lovely, nice and warm, and we had a beautiful time. And I think that was us getting ready to go home. So I just want to thank the Lord for the holiday too, because I had to go over as Suzanne McMahon, because of course I had to have the birth certificate, marriage certificate to get my passport in my married name. So I had to go over as McMahon and he was Wayne Jerome. But the story goes that when we got to Vanuatu, when we went to the restaurant, it was just candlelights. There was no lights in the restaurant. And we go, oh, this is nice. Do you have this all the time? And they go, no, we just had a cyclone, so we have no electricity. So we go, oh, okay. But here we were thinking that God had blessed us with a special occasion, which I suppose he did in a way. But the resort in some areas and the island were damaged, but thankfully we could still go to Leilagong where we stayed and still be there. They were fixing a lot of things around us, but the rooms were still available, so we had a really good time there, and it was just excellent being in Vanuatu. So I think I've got another photo after this. Yes, this is my last photo, but this is us on our 36th wedding anniversary. So I give all glory and honour to the Lord for our marriage, and I want to thank the Lord for what he has done in our lives. I mean, we've had ups and downs. We've not been a perfect couple. I mean, I've let a lot of things go and Wayne's let a lot of things go. But this man, he is a wonderful man, and I am so blessed to be married to him. He has his problems and he has his faults, and so do I. But we've stuck it out together, and I just thank the Lord that he's a really, really special man, and I thank God that he brought us together. And I thank Pastor Ken Mackey, who's now with the Lord, for praying for us and for bringing us together by the Spirit of the Lord. And when I say bringing us together, he was just praying. And they were just listening to what we were saying about who we thought we were to marry. But initially it was Wayne and I got together, and actually something I forgot to tell was we finally got to go out together by ourselves, and we ended up over at Silverwater, and that was over near the soccer field, near the car park there. And we just were in the car in my Mazda at the time, and he said, well, if the Lord, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So that was him saying that, yes, we'll get together and we'll get engaged. So I just want to thank the Lord. I mean, I had a hassle with that at one stage, but I realise now that was just Wayne's way of saying things. But he really loves the Lord, and I love the Lord, and I can never thank the Lord enough for giving me that man. And now, you know, I will share next time that we had 2 beautiful children, 2 boys, and I will share all about that on my next podcast. But the Lord did bring me together, and he gave me the best man for my life, and he didn't have any anger towards me. He just looked after me, still does, and takes care of me. And I just thank the Lord that I didn't get into an abusive relationship. But if anybody needs to reach out to me or needs to help me, to ask for help in any way to do with that as well, please feel free to email me or get in contact with me on the podcast, whether on Rumble or YouTube, and reach out and send me your email and I'll reach out to you if you need anything, if you need help, support. I can get you in contact with anyone who you need to help get out of a situation, or if you just need to talk about your marriage or your life, please feel free to contact me at any time. But the Lord is your answer. He is your answer. He's the one that will keep you going. Cry out on His name and He will bring you out of the situation because He loves you. And He loves you very much. And I just want to give a shout out to Kaylem Miller, who helps me organize this beautiful podcast. He's set it all up and he's done everything good and well and wonderful. Thank you, Kaylem. Appreciate it, mate. And to Josie Miller, who also does my makeup and sets up things and helps me and encourages me and helps me get my story together. So I just want to thank the Lord for both of them. And I want to thank my church for allowing me to do my podcast here. Thank you, everyone who prays. And thank you, Lord, for you are good. You have definitely given me a life with a purpose.